Wild Time with another World of Warcraft video. Today, let's take a look at the new 11.0.7 island that's coming in the World of Warcraft, The War Within. So this is going to be, there was just a major patch in 0.0.5. A lot of classes, like my Paladin, got completely gutted and almost changed. And then there's the 20th anniversary. There's a lot of stuff going on now. Is it too soon to release another piece of content here? I don't know. But we're going to listen to the WoW team and comment on it and see what they have to say and see what we think about it.
Hi, I'm Kayla Brown, and I am a game producer on the WoW team. I'm here joined with a bunch of our talented developers in order to show you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into what we have lined up for our 11.0.7 content update. One of the awesome features that we have coming in with 11.0.7 is actually a brand new zone that we have named Siren Isle. Our design philosophy when creating this zone was to make sure that we made a very engaging outdoor end game experience that would cater to a whole bunch of different play styles and player types.
Siren Isle is a mysterious island located in a particularly stormy part of the ocean. During the Fourth War, it was used by the Kultirans to mine azurite, and then everybody
Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. The Kultirans were a race introduced in BFA, and if y'all don't know like the lore, they were, I'm pretty sure Jaina Proudmoore, they were like her people, right? And the Kultirans, I don't like their model really, and not a lot, I don't like, if you know anybody that plays a Kultiran, like let me know. Like I have a rogue Kultiran just for the transmog, but really I don't really know a lot of people who pick that race. But the story I thought was really cool. They were sort of pirates, and then went with Jaina, and then her, like, them seeing as like betraying her or whatever, and they're coming back, and then that was like the whole sort of thing in BFA, right? So this is actually pretty cool that they're tying this in to the Kultirans in like a place where they used to mine azurite.
mysteriously disappeared. Recently, the island has sent out a massive pulse of energy, and everything heard it. And your allies are mounting an expedition to this island to find...
Yeah, so azurite, so this makes sense, right? Because the Azeroth is like crying out, right? Like Thrall and Anduin and them are going nuts hearing these voices. In azurite, I'm pretty sure, somebody can correct me, wasn't it like the blood of Azeroth or something like that? Like congealing up or something, sort of like Saranai was. But yeah, so interesting.
Find out what happened and investigate.
Players arrive in Dornegal to meet up with the goblin Skagit, which is Gazlo's assistant. And we find that the Earthen and the Arathi have already made it to the island, so naturally Skagit's ready to go. He's like, get on the Zeppelin, let's go, it's time for adventure. So what's fun about the Siren Isle is when players arrive, we see signs that Kultirans have been here before, but there seems to be nobody around.
Okay, I see you, associate game designer with your Horde cup over here. I see you.
Which is really interesting. We see all these buildings and structures, but by the time the expedition gets there, it's empty. It's one of those fun little mysteries, we hope. So on this island, players are going to have a wealth of enemies to encounter. We actually have 3 separate groups. So we have the Bloodwake Vrykul, we have the Naga, and then we have a bunch of pirates. These groups will be rotating around on the island, so players won't encounter the same group week to week. Also, players will encounter a large crystal.
Okay, so week to week, does that mean like one week it'd be the Naga, the next week it'd be like the drunken monkey pirates, and then it'd be the guys who look like they're from Northrend? I think so. And I'm imagining there'll be different things like each week to do, like cosmetics and stuff, I'm assuming, based on whoever's up.
In the center of the island that seems to sing gently or hum, which has attracted the attention of both the Arathi and the Earthen. So our friends on the island, they're all here for different reasons, which is really exciting. The Earthen and the Arathi are here to study the crystal, and the goblins are interested in what the crystal can do, right? And so they're a really fun cast of people to have because they're so different, but it's also fun to have them all together here because their differences actually might be more complementary than we think.
Siren Isle, being in a particularly stormy part of the ocean, is regularly lashed by horrible tempests. During these storms, powerful creatures of all kinds come up out of the ocean and assault the island. Players can defend their allies to go into the storm. In order to do this, their allies have provided them with vehicles and weapons and other tools that they can use to take on these much more powerful enemies. There's all these crazy powerful enemies that show up, and you get to use these tools. For example, my favorite is the crawler mines. You can grab them, target one of the big nasties, and just have the bomb run up to it and explode.
So is it just me, or so whenever? All right, so whenever, like, okay, right now in Ashkahet, depending on which faction you choose, you can get like an ability to use. I never use that ability. Maybe I should start. I feel like this is just going to be like an action bar that goes on that I'll probably never press. But maybe I should start doing that.
Explode. There's 3 caves on the island that are sealed up. Each of these caves has a deadly enemy inside. Players will be able to chip in, and you can donate to their excavations. And each of the factions, the Earthen, the Goblin, and the Arathi, have a different cave on the island, and players can donate to get the events to open.
Get your feet moving. We got a tunnel to blast open.
Yeah.
Circe's Circlet is a mysterious ring that once belonged to a mythical, legendary siren named Circe. It's a very powerful item that'll give you an edge, especially on the Siren Isle. And as weeks unfold, you'll be able to unlock more gems, more powers associated with Siren Isle and the ring. So this is actually a model of Circe's Circlet that you'll be able to see in game. One of our artists, Brittany Reinhardt, was able to throw it together, and you can see, like, even in game, you'll be able to see it on your character.
That's pretty cool, right? I mean, that's unique. You typically can't see the rings.
Which is, I thought it was pretty cool. You'll be able to interact with a lot of different pieces of content using this ring. It'll be fairly strong, and it'll have 3 different sockets. Each one is a different type, and you'll be able to collect a myriad of different gems that fit into these sockets, all of which do different things. Even in the current season, they'll be fairly strong, and in the next season, they'll kind of be strong enough to give you a leadway to the new content coming up. There's a slew of really cool mounts, a bunch of different transmog appearances, some of which are unused from past years that are really exciting to finally get into the players' hands. They've seen it in the files long enough.
First thing is we look for a lot of reference to make sure that we're making something believable, something that seems like it's grounded in nature's rules enough so that when players look at it, there's nothing that's just like totally breaks their immersion. The aesthetic is really interesting. It's kind of inspired in some ways by the American Southwest. Like I was looking at some references of Arizona and stuff, the elements of those cliffs there. And so those are some of the things that we'll do to bring the world to life. We have filled this thing with a lot of secrets, even more than in some of our previous full zone maps. Because it's smaller, it's denser, so I'm excited to see if people can find all the crazy stuff that we did. I put in this little spooky spot back here. The quest designers wanted like an atmospheric kind of creepy spot, so I put like lots of animal bones have kind of been washing up in here. Another thing that's cool too is all these little like caves and micros that we added in. Each one kind of has its own crazy theme. Like over here, they'll spawn in this like crazy dragon that's gonna get spawned in from all these bones that have been collected and stuff. So that's kind of like the pinnacle of this like little creepy pocket over here. This used to be like an azurite mine over here in the center. So there's like elements of what happened here, but then you can tell something bad happened. And there's also this really cool stuff that was put up.
Little Murloc drawing.
In the ridges of the mountains. And one of the things I helped out with doing was like making a lot of this space playable. So instead of just being limited to a flat 2D plane, we can put stuff on top of that 2D plane, and then you get new gameplay experiences, new vantage points, like this big mine track that goes above everything. We definitely do a lot of play testing and soup testing amongst ourselves, and that really helps too. I'm not just kind of designing stuff in my corner that will like get people to actually run through it, and I'll get opinions from people who haven't been building it to see like where do they get lost, where are the pain points here, and that's a process we don't just go through for this. We go through it for all the spaces we design in our game. And again, we'll also look back.
It's pretty cool. Like these are the people that actually design the stuff, right? So like I think sometimes especially with games like Warcraft, you go in and you're like in the world, and like you think it just like exists for you to go into, but the backbone is all programming from people like this. Very cool.
At previous examples of what did players like from previous zones, what did they not like. We try to learn from our past mistakes and learn from our past successes and bring that forward into our new stuff.
one of my favorite little Easter eggs, because there were plenty on this isle. There were plenty of Easter eggs and secrets for people to look forward to. One of my favorites personally is the bestiary, actually, all the creatures that are native to the island. One of the things that I took a lot of inspiration from was actually Darwin's finches on the Galapagos, and that essentially states that there are all of these finches that are very closely related, but on different islands their beaks have become different, right? So they have adapted to do different things and eat different things. So I took that concept and I put it on the Siren Isle. It's like, we have this isle, where are all the creatures that have come here? How has the island been affected over time? Like, all of the creatures are intentional, and it's a fun Easter egg that I don't think people would look for, but I hope that they'll enjoy uncovering the secret of the history of the isle through the creatures as well.
I think that's cool to get this background story, so you sort of see what they want you to see. Like, it's like if you have a song and you know what the meaning behind the song is, then you can listen to the song differently, right? But the reality is my camera will probably be zoomed so far out I won't even see the animals outside of like their nameplates.
Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Our team had a blast in creating and bringing to life Siren Isle, and we really hope that you have just as much fun exploring it as the team did in creating it. Wanted to thank you all again, and we really hope to see you all in the Siren Isle.
All right, so what do y'all think? Too soon? Are you ready for this? I'm going to play it, right? The thing that gets me is just my personal thing. I get FOMO, right? There are like a lot of mounts and all this kind of stuff, and there's still stuff I want to do with the current thing. But I got to remember, like, WoW is meant to be played not all in one day, right? It's like an immersive game, and so you're supposed to like space yourself out. But I think it'd be fun. I even get like when new expansions come out, I know a lot of people are excited. I get like anxiety, which is really weird for a game, but yeah, so let me know what you think. Are you excited about it? Are you happy it's coming out? What are you looking forward to? They really didn't give you a whole lot of information here. There really wasn't a whole, I mean, it was a sneak peek. It really wasn't a look into really what was going on at all. More just sort of like how they developed it and stuff like that. So that was cool though. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to sub. Have fun playing the game. And until next time, I'll catch you all later.